Hello, Chucklefucks. It's your boy, Dark Arku here with What If Issei was a part of the Sano family? Part 4. But yeah, wait. Yeah, part 4. Not the point. Sorry about that. So I just ate a while ago and I'm just like swallowing down my saliva, but yeah. Not the point. Let me begin to what if sorry about any of that. After this, I might have to go upload on my first channel, and yeah, I might do this for only 20 minutes and then go on to my first channel. Yeah, I really didn't go to Mother's Day. Well, mostly not Mother's Day, mostly the store. I just said screw it. I don't really have money right now. I have like only $10. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to waste that. So yeah, not the point. Let me begin this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. And other than that, let me begin. Sorry, I'm rambling on right now. So let's begin. We go into Issei kind of like getting off of mostly the bed, and of course just yawning, saying, I feel so tired. I wonder where's Rayleigh. This is where Issei is going downstairs, seeing Rayleigh already kind of like made food, or not downstairs, mostly get out of his room and sees Rayleigh like making food. This is where, Issei says, yo Rayleigh, how was your day or something, or morning, whatever. Rayleigh says, are you fucking drunk, high, or are you just like so fucking tired that you can barely speak any words now? Issei says, what was that last option? Okay, you're basically tired. You need to calm down, kid. You're overworking yourself. Issei says, but no. Justice. If crime doesn't sleep, then I don't sleep. It's justice. Okay, stop stealing shit from Batman and other things. Okay, Issei says, fine, whatever. Issei sits down, and of course Rayleigh just makes some food and kind of like puts it near him, but yeah. This is where, Issei kind of just like puts his hands together and just kind of pray and other things, but yeah. Now, Issei is not a devil in this one because, mostly those events will actually start after, later after that. Mostly, I don't really want to spoil anything near the future, but yeah. Also, does Issei have a sacred gear? I will mention that later, but not the point right now. Let's go into Issei. Issei is right now kind of just eating, yawning a little, but eating nonetheless. And this is where, Rayleigh kind of questioned what Issei is going to do next. Now that he is known as the DCD, being the Dark Crimson Dragon, also known as, there's another title being the Red Hood. This is where, Issei says, what do you mean? This is where Rayleigh says, oh, you didn't watch TV yesterday. Luckily I recorded, and luckily this TV does record shit. This is where he turns on the TV, this is like near the kitchen. And this is where, it's not a big like screen TV, it's just a small box TV. This is where, or not a small box TV, it's like a small screen TV, but yeah. And this is where, it shows what happened yesterday night. This is where, mostly there's like this kind of like, mostly industrial kind of girl explain what happened last night. Of course, she got kidnapped by these like terrorist group. They were trying to use her as hostage to get ransom from her grandfather. Of course, and there was like also mostly maybe trying to also R her. But of course, this is where she then talks about this one girl that like helped her. Of course, she can't really remember her name because she has kind of bad memory. But she's kind of lying through her teeth of not remember her name. She just doesn't want to like say her name. Of course, then there's the other guy who's named Red Hood that she doesn't even know his straight up name, but yeah. Now this girl basically looks like this. So her name was Rupi. You want to change her name and her kind of appearance instead of from last time, but yeah. Her name is Rupi, and of course she had like longish blondish hair. Of course these like greenish emberish eyes that were kind of like very glowy. And of course she had a very busty figure, but yeah, for being only a 17-year-old, but yeah. This is where, she was kind of right now explaining the TV and other things. And this is where, the other person was named Red Hood, which that's where she can basically explain it a little bit. She doesn't really watch DC, so of course her grandfather took over and says he basically had a red helmet looking like a Red Hood from Batman. Of course, looking like Jason Tom. How do you say that again? Tom, something like that. Of course, where he explains how this man looked just like him, just except for the clothes, but had the helmet. Of course, not too buff and too built, but yeah, kind of lean and built at the same time. He was just guessing, but yeah. because mostly the black outfit there kind of cover up his muscles, so yeah, couldn't really tell. This is where, well, the grandfather just says that we're gonna call this hero Red Hood. This is where Issei says, the fuck, I ain't no hero. Issei complains, says, I ain't no hero. First of all, I ain't no hero. I'm straight up an anti-hero. There's no way in hell I'm gonna be called a hero. This is where, well, Rayleigh chuckles at mostly Issei's antics and screaming to the TV saying, I'm not a damn hero, what the hell is this bullshit? This is where, well, Rayleigh just chuckles and sees Issei kind of just right now getting frustrated, annoyed, and of course just a little bit more annoyed, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into mostly, well, Issei kind of just sighing and saying, whatever. Well, we should probably go outside. I just don't know what to do. I'm in this town. I know I have to go after Valhalla and I have to go after Mobius and other things. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just so tired. This is where, well, Rayleigh says to just relax for a second. You don't need to always go after Valhalla. I know that you actually want revenge on a certain person. But you don't always gotta go after. You also gotta relax and other things. Besides, take it like your, what's it called, older brother's kind of always relaxing point. This is where, well, Issei says, okay, fine. This is where, well, Issei didn't take the motorcycle, he just walked around with the Kashiba City. Of course, wearing mostly a black kind of like hoodie. Of course, black pants, like they're like black, black, just like sweatpants. Of course, this is where he has black, shoes. And well, not black shoes, mostly like black kind of just sandals. This is where, well, he's just walking around. This is where, well, he doesn't really care. Issei kind of is going around, just looking around. Mostly Shiba City. It's kind of nice and beautiful to go see around here. So of course, yeah. Of course, he also is wearing a black mask, just so people won't notice him. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly a face mask, not a black helmet. Okay, just a face mask. This is where, well, Issei's looking around, saying, interesting city. This is where, well, Issei kind of just like gets around the city just to make sure that he remembers locations and other things and where to escape, where to do this and whatever. Of course, where, well, he's walking around until he sees in the alleyways, well, mostly in an alleyway, a girl with kind of whitish hair kind of getting bullied by these like 3 older kind of Valhalla members. This is where, well, the 3 of them say, "Oh, you look so cute. You know what would be much more cuter? If you help." This is where he was about to unzip his like pants. The girl looked disgusted, but of course before the guy can even get to do it, he gets his head right now slammed to the fucking like wall in an instant. This is where he says, "Leave my koihai or yeah, koihai. Yeah, but wait, what was it called?" This is where, well, yeah, it's called kohai. I think it just means like little, mostly the little generation, not second generation, mostly first years, but yeah, or whatever. Mostly someone that's younger than you and blah blah blah. This is where, well, Issei kicks a guy into the head and of course knocking him out by smashing into the wall. The other 2 tried to turn around, but both of their heads were smashed in together by Issei so fast moving behind their back of their heads and smashing them together. But yeah, like kiss the bride together. Bah, he didn't care that much. Issei is right now having a black mask. His eyes are kind of cold and dead, and of course his hood is covering up his head, so of course it's really unknown to see or anything. Koneko gets a little nervous. Of course, this is where the guy behind Koneko rushes just past Koneko and just tries to attack him and says, "Die!" This is where he says, "You die first, Valhalla scum." This is where Issei right now knees him in the face so hard, knocking him out. The guy was knocked out for the cock. But yeah. This is where, well, Koneko got nervous and scared. This is where, well, Issei right now takes off his hood and takes off his mask, giving out a gentle smile at Koneko, and Koneko right now just blushes in an instant. This is where she says, "Senpai." This is where, well, Issei smiles and says, "Hey, Koneko, how you doing?" This is where, well, Koneko blushes and says, "Senpai, This is where, well, she's blushing because she hasn't seen what's it called Issei in a while. Now, we go into mostly a flashback on why mostly Koneko says senpai instead of perb or any of that. We go into mostly Issei eating kind of outside, and of course next to Koneko. Mostly Koneko was scooting away one time, but yeah. But of course, mostly she's kind of got, well, she is kind of was still kind of like nervous and didn't really like the pervert that much. Of course, well, she really didn't like him that much because he was called pervert, and of course multiple rumors were around him. But yeah, of course at this point Issei kind of just gave her like some like snacks and candy to see if she would be friendly, and this worked well, or just being friendly towards Koneko. Now of course Koneko took them and just ate them. Now of course it worked well. They always had this little relationship by kind of just sitting outside. Of course they didn't sit close to each other. Mostly Issei gave some snacks and done. Of course where Koneko sees that Issei's not really a perv at that time, so of course they became closer. Mostly Issei kind of one time was actually rambling on and talking, which Koneko kind of paid attention a little bit close. Issei kind of asked if she had any sisters or brothers, which Koneko kind of like shook her head. Well, she did on accident. She didn't really want to say yes, but she just unconsciously said yes. Issei smiles and says, well, interesting. Issei was kind of rambling on, saying that, well, you should definitely keep your older sibling or sister or whoever they are close to you, because if you don't, you will miss him entirely. Really will miss him so much that you will actually want to sometimes die. Issei said with a cold kind of like cold tone, well, actually freaked out Koneko in an instant because she was actually worried for her senpai. But mostly Issei then smiles, kind of reverting his like mostly cold look to his like normal look and says, sorry about that, I just ramble on sometimes. I'm just kidding. This is where Issei was just kind of kidding, but really that look was actually scary to her. Now seeing her senpai again right now in front of her was actually making her kind of blush. Of course she was actually scared because she thought she lost his, mostly her senpai, mostly the person who actually feed her a lot. Of course, well, she was just kind of hoping, well, mostly happy to see him, of course, looking completely different. Of course, well, he actually knocked out like these guys, like she would have done herself, but she didn't want to reveal her supernatural abilities. But of course, mostly, well, Issei did it himself, but yeah. Mostly he didn't show any supernatural because he's not a supernatural being. He's just a normal human that is skilled with these hands and legs. Don't worry about it. Not the point. What's it called? Well, of course it worked. Well, Issei just patted her in the forehead, almost in the head, and says, so, are you okay, Koneko? Koneko kind of nodded and said, yeah, I'm okay, senpai. This is where, well, Issei then took her hand and kind of just started walking out of the alleyway. And of course, where Issei said, we should get out of the alleyway. We don't need to be next to trash most of the time. Koneko nodded. Of course, she was actually surprised to see how Issei literally called them just trash. Because literally Issei sees Valhalla and what's it called, Mobius as trash. Anyone that's connected with that man named, well, mostly a person that he hates and wants revenge is considered trash. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei and Koneko are just talking. Mostly Koneko is questioning where Issei has been and why he hasn't been with the class, he hasn't been with his friends, he hasn't been with anyone exactly. And this is where, well, Issei just smiles, friendly, always like shaking off her questions or any of that, which made Koneko kind of upset. This is where, well, Koneko actually wanted to know so much of what happened to Issei and why Issei is always just kind of ignoring everything. Like, he's not the same like if he was in Kuo. He's a different person in Shiba City, which she's confused. She's content to actually find out and why. She actually has that one glimpse of memory of when, well, Issei was talking about like siblings and other things and they should be always close to you. And if you don't make them be close, and if they die one day, you will be so heartbroken that you will actually wish that you died with them. This is where, well, Koneko was confused at time, but this is where, well, she sees her senpai being a little bit different in Shiba City than in, what's it called, Kuo. Mostly in Kuo, he's quite cheerful, friendly, and nice, and of course, quite smart. In mostly Shiba City, he seems to be such calm, relaxed, and not even that stressed in being near gangster territory. She actually only went to gangster territory to find her senpai, but of course, mostly Issei's right here. This is where, well, he's so calm, gentle, relaxed, and other things, while she's actually stiff and kind of tense. She tries to kind of be relaxed like her senpai, but mostly she's not, because she's always worried about these mostly gangsters that are around her. Now, of course, Issei, he kind of is also looking quite, well, mostly his eyes are quite like emotionless, but at the same time, quite, well, having some cheerful look to it. Now, of course, any gangsters that are around them kind of just like walk away from them. But yeah, just pass them. It doesn't really bother them that much. When she heard about this gangster territory, she was expecting every gangster to be fighting each other. But that's not the case. In different gangster territories, there's actually a mutual kind of agreement where, well, most of the gangsters don't actually fight each other. But yeah, unless it's a gang war or whatever. Doesn't work well. Konako just keeps seeing her senpai just walk so calmly and without a care in the world. Now, of course, they're kind of getting near what's it called, mostly out of the gangster territory. They're mostly getting back to the other side of Shiba City, but yeah. And this is where, well, she notices and says, Senpai, where are we going? This is where Issei says, I'm leading you back towards Shiba City. You know, where all the civilians should be at. He said with such a gentle, kind of cheerful tone. This is where, well, Konako nodded. This is where Konako then questioned if Issei's coming along. Issei then shook his head saying, nope, not the case. This is where, well, Konako was surprised and said, but why, senpai? This is where, well, she was actually kind of getting a little frustrated and annoyed and why Issei keeps kind of avoiding the city. Mostly that city exactly. Issei said, oh, well, I can't really tell you why, but I can just say that I don't want to go. This is where, well, Konako gets upset and kind of says, no, no. You're coming along with me, right? This is where, well, mostly she holds his hand very tightly, which Issei notices, but Issei then smiles with a gentle, kind smile and just pat her head and says, go along. I'll catch up with you later. Also, if you see Sona, I will need to talk to her. Just tell her to kind of be near the park or something. This is where Konako seems upset and mostly how Issei is trying to push her away out of the gangster territory. Not forcibly, but mostly just trying to be kind enough to just push her out of here. Of course, acting like a mostly mature person most of the time. This is where, well, she doesn't want to let go of his hand, but this is where Issei tries to let go of her hand. Forcibly, but not too hard enough to break her hand, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Konako was actually shocked. This is where, well, Issei said, come on, Konako, just go. This is where, well, Konako didn't want to go, but this is where she then get a call from someone. And this is where, well, on the other side was actually her kind of master worrying about what happened to Konako. And this is where Konako just says that she will get over there. This is where, well, Konako decides to let go of his hand unconsciously and walks out of what's it called gangster territory and goes towards Shiba City. She realizes what she has just done, and when she turns around, she just sees Issei walking away. And he's already like fucking 10 feet away from her. This is where, well, she winds her eyes, and this is where she becomes sad a little bit. She really wanted her senpai just to come along with her. But yeah, she kind of has a small little crush on Issei. Of course, this is where Issei kind of walks away. This is where, well, we go into Issei kind of just smiling and saying, sorry about that, Konako. I can't go with you. Not yet. No. Sorry. I guess in the near future, you're gonna probably call me as a scumbag. A person that you will never be, well, wanted to be anywhere near me. I need to push you away. Sorry about that. This is where, well, we go into a time skip of when mostly Sona got kind of a little bit told by Konako on where to meet up Issei. She actually didn't hesitate. She met up near the same place and where Issei was at. The exact kind of coordinates. It was mostly a playground. A playground. This is where, well, she met up with Issei with Tsubaki. Now, of course, she wanted to convince Issei to actually come back. Now, you see here, Sona does also have a little small crush on Issei. The reason why is we go into a flashback of when Issei kind of bumped into her. Now, of course, Issei said he apologized and kind of said that he didn't mind helping her because Sona had a bunch of paperwork on her, and of course she was carrying it at the time. This is where, well, Issei didn't mind helping her and just kind of like took some of the paper and actually helped her out. This is where when they get back to her office, Issei helped her in actually organizing the papers and also kind of like writing them for her. Sona realized that Issei was extremely smart, also was extremely good in organizing papers. She kind of wondered if Issei wanted to join the, well, mostly council, like the council. Of course, not as a devil, because she never did explain anything about the supernatural, but just as like a council member to help out. Issei just kind of smiles and rejected the proposition, which made Sona a little bit saddened. Of course, Issei said that he didn't want to because he had things to do at home, like be with his parents and other things. He loves his parents a lot. This is where, well, Mostly Sona nodded. This is where, well, Issei smiles and says, but I can always come here to help you out and organize your papers. I don't really mind. This is where Sona kind of had a little gleam of smile. This is where Issei kind of saw a chessboard and says, wanna play chess? This is where Sona looks at the chess and board and kind of nodded and says, let's play some chess. Which when both of them played, Sona realized that she was actually struggling against Issei, but Issei was always smiling kind of cheerfully. Of course, no hidden kind of like attempts or anything, had no perverted grin, nothing, anything perverted, which made Sona kind of glad that Issei wasn't actually a pervert. Just rumors were spreading around for him. Of course, this is where, well, she kind of played chess with him for a while, and when Issei noticed it was about time to go, he just decided to finish it up by actually winning against Sona, because he was actually kind of letting Sona win most of the time, which Issei just decided to win and kind of just tell Sona that he has to go right now. He has to get to his parents just to make sure that they're not worried sick about him, which Issei left in such a hurry, but put mostly the chess and board and other things back into the proper place. And this is where, well, Issei said, well, I should be going. Bye, Sona. This is where Sona wind her eyes, seeing Issei just defeat her in chess, which she still has that marriage contract under, mostly hidden under the whole chess kind of play game. So, of course, she was actually blushing when she saw Issei just left. Now, of course, it worked well. She was quite upset to see Issei kind of, when they get to Shiba City, just see him just disappear and act different entirely. Now, this is where we go back into Issei and Sona meeting up. Sona is right now meeting up. Sabaki's kind of just sitting almost far away, kind of close, but just near some trees, kind of just like seeing them. Well, not really Sabaki. Sabaki's not there. Mostly it's Ria's kind of stalking because she was actually wondering if she can get Issei into her club. Now, of course, the reason why Ria's want Issei into her club is because he has this weird energy. It's kind of like a sacred gear. So she's hoping for him to have such a powerful sacred gear. Now, of course, where Sona is just there kind of talking to Issei. This is where, well, Issei kind of says, hello there, Sona-chan. This is where he smiles with such a gentle smile on his face. Of course, such warm kind of look into his eyes, which made Sona blush a little bit. This is where Sona says, hello there, Issei-kun. Issei said, well, Sona, I only came here to talk to you for a second and other stuff. This is where Sona nodded. She then kind of nodded and said, you can go on. This is where, well, Issei said, so, I want to tell you about mostly why I'm here in Shiba City. Well, I can't tell you exactly why I'm here, but I'm just going to say that it will ruin the reputation of Kuo. This is where, well, Sona widened her eyes and said, what are you? Issei said, sorry, I can't tell you what I mean about that. This is where Sona looks at him with a worried look. This is where, well, Issei said, so, I already came with a conclusion, and what to do so Kuo won't be ruined the reputation or any of that. This is where, well, Sona looks at him with such a confused look, until Issei continues on. I'm going to be dropping out of Kuo High School, mostly the academy. I'll be dropping out. I want you to kind of just drop me off. I know that mostly parents need to be signed signature, but when you tell them and why I need to drop out, then they will understand. This is where, well, or just tell them about dropping out, they will understand. This is where, well, Sona whined her eyes after hearing that. It was like a knife piercing through her heart. This is where, well, she whined her eyes, and this is where, well, she felt kind of saddened a little bit than why Issei wants to just drop out. But there's no conclusion reason in why he actually wants to drop out. Actually, it's not even given out. This is where, well, Sona kind of questioned a little bit, but right now kind of trying to keep her voice together so it doesn't seem too broken or shattered. And she's like trying to question why Issei wants to drop out. This is where she said it a little bit too out loud, which Ria's managed to hear, and her eyes widen in an instant. Ria's hearing this, and this is where, well, she's not trying to make Issei drop out. Now, of course, this is where, well, Issei is, I can't really tell you the reason why I want to drop out. It's not the reason it's because I'm a pervert or any of that. No, I just have some business here in Shiba City. And that business will actually cause the reputation of Kuo to might go down because of my actions. So I'm telling you as a friend, Sona. Or mostly as just a student. I want to drop out. This is where, well, Sona just seems very sad and she doesn't want to actually drop Issei. She doesn't even want to kick him out of Mosi High School. She actually has kind of feelings for Issei. Even if with the marriage contract, she still has feelings for Issei, even if there was no marriage contract. This is where, well, Issei kind of just grins with a small grin and saying, "Don't be sad, Sona-chan. It's just something that I'm going to have to do. And either you drop me out, or just kick me out, or I'll just kind of call my parents to drop me off, or drop me out of Mosi High School." This is where, well, Sona questioned and why he wanted to do that. This is where, well, her voice were all kind of broken, a little bit kind of like stuttering and other things, and this is where she didn't want to make it so stuttery and obvious that she was actually nervous and scared for Issei's sake. But this is where, well, Issei notices, and this is where Issei says, "Can't tell you the conclusion why. It's just, if I tell you, you're going to try to change my mind. And I can't let you do that, Sona-chan. No one can change my mind. I need to do this. I need to get somewhat. Can't tell you that neither." This is where, well, mostly Sona seems so worried. And of course, this is where she hates the fact that Issei's being so cryptic at the same time. This is where, well, Sona kind of just questioned even further. But this is where Issei said, "Sorry about that, Sona. Can't tell you anymore." Well, I should probably be going. Issei gets up from the swing because they were both kind of swinging. And this is where, well, mostly on the swing. This is where Issei gets up and says, "Well, I should probably be going, Sona." This is where, well, Sona winds her eyes and says, "Wait, Issei." This is where, well, Issei said, "Huh? You need something?" This is where Sona nodded and said, I. This is where, well, Issei said, "Don't think you can change my mind, Sona. Sorry. Well, I'll be going. Also, if you need to tell any of the other girls, then I guess you can go ahead. Well, other than that, bye." This is where, well, Sona winds her eyes, and this is where, well, she just couldn't say it. She was too stuttery. She was too nervous in saying and what she actually felt against Issei, but Issei just had it to go. This is where, well, Issei was still wearing his like black hoodie and black pants and other things, and this is where, well, mostly Sona winds her eyes. Right now, just sitting there at the, what's it called, swing, right now, satting. Of course, the marriage contract would still have to go on. It's just she hasn't really told her parents or even her sister. And also the fact that mostly her only true likable person, like, she likes Issei for the fact that he's smart. He has, what's it called, the brains. She doesn't know if he has the bronze, but if he does have the bronze, then that'll be bonuses. But of course, he's kind, gentle, and nice and other things, what she sees. But right now, seeing him right now in front of her, he still was gentle, nice, and kind, and very smart in a lot of things. Of course, at the same time, he has such a darkened aura around him. A very evilish, darkened aura that would cause trouble in the near future, and so that's why he decided to drop out, to tell Sona Sifri, or mostly Sona Shatara, to kind of just tell him to kick him out, or just tell his parents just to drop him off, or just drop him out of the high school and other things, which is still smart in situations, but yeah. Now, she doesn't understand what situation would cause the reputation of Koa to go down. She doesn't even know much about Issei's history. She only knows a couple of things and what he's shown and other things. But mostly he seems, being here in Shiba City, it seems to be a darkened path that seems to show around him. Now, of course, well, she's so worried about Issei. Very worried. Very, very worried. This is where, well, she then sighs and gets up. Of course, she has a very saddened look and a very stunned look. Of course, this is where, well, we go into mostly Ria's surprise. This is where Ria's had to kind of make a magic circle, so of course she wouldn't be detected by Sona. But Sona says, "I know you're there, Rias. What do you even want?" This is where Sona's voice and look was actually dead a little bit. Of course, making Ria stunned, and of course, this is where, well, Ria says, "I just came here to talk to my friend." This is where Sona says, "Yeah, sure. What do you want?" This is where, well, Ria didn't understand why Sona was such dead and cold. She thought that mostly she didn't like the boy named Issei at all, but it seems to be quite different. Of course, this is where Ria said, nothing at all. It seems that you're tired and other things. Well, I should be leaving you off." This is where Ria walks away, and this is where Sona just walks away, also being tired. We go into Issei kind of, well, getting back to Rayleigh's house. And of course, well, Issei kind of just says, "Oh, man, I'm tired." Rayleigh asks him where he has been. And this is where Issei says, "Just meeting some friends, you can say. Not friends that you expect me to meet, but just people from my old school." This is where Rayleigh says, "I understand. You already told them that you're going to drop out. And you're still going down the path of revenge. So I can't stop you neither. I can only just do is support you. Support you so you won't die before revenge." Issei says, "Yep, I'm just gonna go to my room then." This is where, well, Issei gets to his room and just like sits there and was about to fall asleep, but this is where for some reason he has such a uneasy kind of thought that mostly Sona kind of liked him. But this is where he just shaked it off. He just shaked it off, thinking that that was just completely a lie, and thinking that mostly Sona kind of just like was his friend and other things. He wasn't expecting her to like him or any of that. So that's why he just shook off that kind of feeling and thought. This is where, well, he just falls asleep quite easily. But we go into Sona Shatara. This is where, oh, Sona Sifri. Sona is barely able to go to sleep. She's actually like remembering two different Isseis. One Issei is what's it called? Issei Hyodo, mostly from Kuo, and the other one is Issei Hyodo, but from mostly this town or mostly city. She's making two different illusions of Issei actually appear in her mind. One is kind, gentle, and other things, while the other one is kind but has a very darkened aura. Now, of course, both of them are quite the same, but different at the same time. She can't put her finger around it. Maybe this is where, well, she remembers how Issei said that he used to live here. So, of course, this is where, well, she's wanting to know more about Issei in his history. It could be darkened, it could be something she doesn't understand, but she will find out and what is containing of Issei, or what is connected with Issei and Shiba City. Of course, well, she then tried to fall asleep, but was pretty bad at falling asleep. But yeah, this is well, we go into mostly Koneko, who's actually also quite worried about Issei. But yeah, but that's not the point. Other people are still worried about Issei because Issei hasn't really been with the other students. Of course, his two perverted best friends has just ignored and where Issei's existence has been. But some of the girls who actually knows about Issei's true personality and being nice, kind, and gentle and not perverted, they're actually worried about him. Like Catherine and Moriyama, or was it called Salentia, and even was it called Allison. Now, of course, that's not the point. They're here. So, of course, I'm gonna leave it off here for part 4 of what if Issei was part of the Sano family. Yes, this wasn't much of an action part. Mostly it was just like how Issei just wanted to drop out and other things, but that's not the point to here. But of course, other than that, I'm going to leave it off here for part 4. Part 5 will be whenever, but this is right now part 4. Other than that, I kind of like where I'm doing with the story. There's not much of like going into action, fighting against the supernatural. I mean, the supernatural is still a thing in this world, into this what if, but it won't come until later. This mostly I'm going off with Tokyo Revenger, and how Tokyo Revenger is still somewhat supernatural. I think in the little title things it does say supernatural. I guess with the time hopping and with what they call the impulse, if you know what darkness impulse is. So yeah, but Issei won't have darkness impulse. It'll be something else. I have already the name and already what it contains and other things, but other than that, that will not be the point. I'm going to leave it off here now, and bye, see you, and yeah, bye.